So it would appear that Rusev, the former WWE United States champion, former big WWE star, is now with All Elite Wrestling. He has just moments ago made his debut with AEW on AEW Dynamite. He was revealed as Kip Sabian's best man for his upcoming wedding to Penelope Ford during the best man reveal segment on AEW Dynamite. During the segment, Kip Sabian came out, plugged his Twitch channel, like he did this past weekend at All Out. And then we had a couple of fake teases about who was actually the best man. We had the likes of Brian Pillman Jr. come out. And then in reality, it was finally revealed that Miro, which is now his name he's going by, but he's the former Rusev in WWE, is Kip Sabian's best man. It makes a lot of sense. They were doing about a lot of Twitch plugging heading into this. Kip Sabian at the weekend plugged his Twitch channel. There's nobody bigger on Twitch when it comes to pro wrestling than Miro himself. So it was great to see Miro back inside of a pro wrestling ring. It really, really was. He comes out, he cuts a promo, says he will absolutely be Kip Sabian's best man at his upcoming wedding. And then he cuts a promo. He cuts an incredible, unbelievable promo whereby he says that he spent 10 years in the same house with a glass ceiling and a brass ring. He says you can take your brass ring, you can shove it up your, well, you know where you can shove it. He says Elite recognizes Elite, and Miro is now officially All Elite. So Miro is officially in AEW. He cut just one hell of a promo on Dynamite. It's an absolutely huge signing. It's a game-changing signing, in my opinion, to have Miro compete with All Elite Wrestling. In my opinion, it's a massive signing. It's a massive deal. They've kind of called Miro, a nickname they've given him is the best man, Miro. And AEW have officially confirmed on their social media that Miro has signed with AEW. This isn't a couple of shot deal. This is a full long-term deal. To me, Miro can absolutely be the world champion in AEW. Out of all of the people that were released by WWE back in April, to me, Miro was the biggest superstar amongst those names. Obviously, you had the names like Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's not wrestling anymore. Obviously, he was a producer for WWE. You had names like the Good Brothers. But to me, out of that entire list of people that WWE released back in April as part of those budget cuts associated with COVID-19, Miro was the guy. Miro was the guy. He can absolutely be a world champion in AEW. And that promo that he cut during that segment with Kip Sabian, for me, it's just the start of great things for Miro and AEW. He's got that capability. You had his wife, Lana. She's got on social media and just tweeted out shook, which is obviously to reference that Miro is now with AEW. He's made his AEW debut. And I saw a little bit of backlash from people saying that Rusev should have, or Miro should have made his debut in something more substantial than just being Kip Sabian's best man. Because, look, Kip Sabian, he's a talented wrestler and he's got potential and he's got a bright future with AEW. But at the moment, he's a mid-card talent. And I saw some people suggest that, maybe Miro, he should go straight into the main event. He should do this. He should go straight to Moxley and all of that sort of stuff. And I disagree. I disagree with that. I have no problem at all with Miro having the best man gimmick in AEW to start off. Rusev, during his run with WWE, especially towards the latter part of it, when he was doing these sort of comedic and sometimes silly gimmicks, Rusev could get anything over in WWE. So he'll get this over too. And that little promo that he did was money. That's the sign that, okay, when he wants to shift it up a gear, when he wants to get serious, he can get serious, but he can do comedy, he can do anything. And mark my words, Miro can be a world champion. He really can be a world champion. I have no doubts he can be a world champion. I think it's a massive signing by AEW, and it's huge. It really is. And as I mentioned, he mentioned that Elite recognizes Elite. He said, my name is Miro and I'm All Elite. Now, Pro Wrestling Sheet have confirmed that according to sources, Miro has indeed signed with AEW and the deal lasts for over a year. As you recall, as I mentioned, Rusev was released from WWE in April with many other wrestlers due to budget cuts associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Signing Miro to a contract for over a year is a big deal. as well. It absolutely is a big deal because Miro's that kind of a talent. He absolutely is that kind of a talent. Miro also, which I enjoyed, once the debut was over and done with, he then posted a tweet saying, "No twitch.com/Miro Twitch stream today, I'm all elite," which I thought was quite fun. So he's not on Twitch today because, he's kind of busy being in an all elite wrestling ring. If it looks like, obviously, as we continue to go forward with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford's wedding, which I don't know if it's next week or in a couple of weeks' time, whenever it is. Support for Wrestle News 365 is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Now, Manscaped, for all of my UK fans out there, Manscaped just launched in the UK. Over here in the United Kingdom, we have gone for years and years and years without using the right tools for the job. But now you can be one of the first men in England to experience their life-changing product. But it's not just limited to all of the great fans over here in the UK. This offer goes worldwide, so all of my friends over in America and around the world that are listening to this offer still does apply for you. You can still use our code. But I've got to tell you a quick story first. Now, there have been so many times, right? I'm a guy. You gotta groom down there, fellas, right? That's the most important thing. You gotta keep yourself trimmed. You gotta keep yourself proper. And a lot of the time, I've been guilty of this, of using the wrong tools for the job. I've had incidences, I'm not afraid to say it, where things have been nicked, snagged, or in fact cut down there because I wasn't being careful enough and using the right equipment. Now that just shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. You don't want to be worrying about cutting yourself down there. Do you know how painful that is? I can tell you, it hurts quite a lot. And I wish and hope to God it never happens to me again, and it won't happen to me ever again because I'm using Manscaped products. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team has perfected the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. Big statement, but it's absolutely true. They have just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 in the UK. It's also available around the world as well. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. So those cuts and snags that I was telling you about before are a thing of the past. And let me tell you, when I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes so you can get a longer, perfect shave. And not only that, you don't want to be cutting yourself and trimming yourself all over the bathroom, getting hair all over the place. That's just disgusting. The lawnmower has a waterproof technology that allows you to groom in the shower, so no more mess. And one of the coolest features, one of my favorite features about the lawnmower is the LED light which illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming experience. So you can shave longer, you can shave more precisely, and you can shave in the shower. What more did I need to tell you? They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology, and let's not forget about the charging stand. You can show off your mower loud and proud because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. So, if you are listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Let's get that bush to tush clean, and you can get 20% off and free shipping. Yeah, you heard me right there. 20% off and free shipping. All you have to do is use the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. Make your testies their besties. That's 20% off and free shipping. Not only are you getting 20% off, you're getting free shipping as well with the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code 365wrestle. Your balls will thank you. I draw comparisons with Penelope Ford, Kip Sabian, Miro. I think it's a trio that's very similar to Rusev, Lana, and Aiden English in WWE. And we saw how great that was and how much that got over when it wasn't meant to. It really wasn't meant to. So let's see what happens with Rusev. You got to think that he was so creatively shackled in WWE, so creatively shackled. So what happens now with Miro in AEW when he's not creatively shackled? He's actually able to have fun. He's actually able to have input into his character and into what he can do, and it's a really, really interesting situation, I think. And as I mentioned before, I think it's just a massive, massive signing for AEW. To me, that's a needle shifting talent. Miro was always that person that people were desperate to see do more in WWE because he was capable of doing more in WWE. And I know I've said it a million times already in this video alone, but to me, Miro can absolutely be a world champion. And I think Miro has a lot of fans outside of AEW, and I think he's one that can certainly bring eyeballs into the product. If you want to continue momentum in AEW and you want to get people watching the product, people like Miro, that's the kind of talent that AEW needs to sign. And I know AEW will probably be criticised in some portions by people saying, well, they're just signing us another ex-WWE guy they've signed. This is different. This is absolutely different because as soon as Miro got released and he was on that free agency list, I think everyone universally said, whoever picks up Miro, that's a massive signing because he really is that big. And I'm pretty sure, unlike in WWE, he'll be able to do his Twitch streams still and any stuff like that. And I don't know the details financially of his contract, but I think when it comes to the money that he is being paid, he'll absolutely make it back, in my opinion. In merchandise sales, AEW will. Can you imagine that AEW's or Rusev's PW Pro Wrestling Tees sale? I think it's massive. And you think of the matches. You think of the matches that Miro can have in AEW with this signing. As I mentioned, he can be a world champion as a babyface. This is the great thing with Miro. He can be a heel. He was a great heel in WWE. He probably had his best success as a heel, right? He had the anti-American gimmick, which is very outdated, I think. But he had the anti-American gimmick. He had the feud with John Cena, the WrestleMania match against John Cena, arriving on the tank. Arguably his biggest moment in his career was that feud with John Cena over the United States Championship at WrestleMania 31. During that period of time, Rusev was undefeated for 1 year, and until he was defeated by John Cena for the US title at WrestleMania 31. And he had that iconic WrestleMania entrance inside of an army tank. But then he also showed incredible, to me, versatility during that WWE run because he became widely popular as a babyface, even though he wasn't meant to, on SmackDown Live with the Rusev Day gimmick with Rusev's pairing with Aiden English. Now, we don't know what's the situation with Aiden English. Right now, Aiden English is returning to pro wrestling. He's been hyping that up a lot recently as well, so maybe Miro won't be alone. Maybe when he's returned, obviously Miro's come to AEW now, maybe Aiden English won't be too far behind. I'm sure that at that wedding they might need someone to sing, or they might need someone to announce them, right? Forget Justin Roberts, get Aiden English. I think if AEW was smart here, they would look at the pairing of Rusev and Aiden English and just say, look, it was money, and WWE decided to throw that away. Why not? Why not just put Rusev and Aiden English together again in AEW and give them creative freedom, let them be able to do whatever they want? And I think it would be very, very good. I think it would be very, very good, and I think it would be money. And as I mentioned, in my opinion, Rusev was arguably the biggest star to get released by WWE back in April. He certainly was in demand. I know for a fact there were a lot of companies interested in him. AEW obviously won the race there. I still think Rusev can potentially work for New Japan. I would be surprised if he doesn't have the clause in his contract that the likes of Brody Lee, Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, etc. have in their contract whereby they can work for New Japan. To me, Rusev in New Japan just feels like a perfect fit. I think I can just picture Rusev in New Japan perfectly. He fits that territory so well, that physical style, that big man, the foreign superstar. It's just always worked in New Japan, and I think he could make a lot of money there. You look at the likes of Bruiser Brody, that big, crazy foreign heel, could just make so much money there. Now, obviously, he isn't going to be traveling to Japan anytime soon because of the COVID-19 situation. That just isn't going to happen. But New Japan are running shows in California right now. They're going to be running one very, very soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if Rusev can show up there as well. I know for a fact the likes of Impact Wrestling were interested in Rusev. If they were able to get him out, it would have been a massive deal. But obviously that isn't going to happen now that Rusev or Miro has signed with AEW. I do believe what he said in the past. Miro made a bit of headlines about a month or so ago when he said that I'm not a full-time wrestler anymore. I'm a full-time Twitch streamer, and I'm happy doing that. He's enjoying what he's doing right now when it comes to Twitch streaming. And look, you have to realize these AEW gigs, it's once a week, maybe twice a week if you've got a pay-per-view, but that's it. AEW isn't a live event business. They're a television business. They've got a completely different business model to WWE, a really modern one actually, and they don't need to run live events. All they need to do is do TV. So it's a much lighter schedule. He can continue to do his Twitch streaming, which he's very popular with and he makes a lot of money with. And I was correct in my previous assumption in the past that the wrestling bug truly never leaves you. You can say that you're done wrestling and you're never going to be a full-time wrestler again, but you still want to get back in the ring eventually. You're still going to want to get back in the ring eventually. So I mentioned when I spoke about where did I think Miro would end up next, I said that it would likely be AEW and New Japan. So I still think a New Japan run is certainly on the table when it comes to Miro, but I think this is just very, very exciting. I think it's a real exciting time because I think that it's going to be a huge signing for AEW. We've had Kip Sabian tweet as well. He said when Miro's handsome chatters meet the Super Bad Squad, and they're plugging both their Twitch channels. I think this is what it's going to be. It's going to be something that is going to have quite a lot of cross-platform promotion. I wouldn't be surprised if they do things on the Twitch channels as well, and maybe they have a deal where they stream the wedding between Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford on Twitch too. As I mentioned, I think Aiden English can certainly get involved as well. And right now, Miro and Rusev and AEW Dynamite is trending on social media because it's that good. It's that big a signing, and they could do some great things. They can do some absolutely great things in AEW. Once again, it's very sad that we didn't have a sold-out arena to chant Miro Day with his debut and have a massive pop for Miro. But what I will say is that even though there was 750, 500 fans there, when he came out, he still got a massive pop, and Miro still had goosebumps when he made his entrance, and they still chanted Miro Day, and they were still very, very happy to see him. And I was at home, I popped. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, and it got a reaction out of me. So I think social media and I think everyone watching at home was exactly the same. I think he can do great things. You saw in his promo what his ability is to cut a promo off the cuff without having to recall a script, be overproduced, and just let him be himself. If Miro's allowed to be himself, you've got money. That's the difference there. If Miro's allowed to just be himself, cut his own promo, speak how he speaks, act how he acts, then he's entertaining, he's a quality talent, he's money, he's absolute money. So I'm very, very excited. And I think also you can also say that if you had slight disappointments with All Out, and there were disappointments with it, I think that tonight's AEW Dynamite is absolutely kicked up a level. I think it's been very, very good. So an absolutely massive signing. Miro is All Elite, and I think it's a fantastic investment. I think it's a fantastic get. And as I mentioned, I'll mention it a million times in this, I'll mention it again. For me, Miro is a future world champion in AEW. What are your thoughts of Miro signing with AEW, Miro being All Elite? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you've enjoyed this video, please smash a like on the like button as well. It really does help us out here on YouTube, go up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to WrestleNews 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.